Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just Upright. My name is Doc Jean Ruder. I'm Doctor of Physical Therapy, and I'm your foreign educated physical therapist guide to U.S. application. Part of our mission here at Just Upright is to inspire, to educate, to empower people. So I'm bringing on board my friends from Smart Success Healthcare. This is a business group, a group of winners that I am with. And so they're bringing their expertise to our channel. I know I'm serving for an educated physical therapist, but all of us are people and people have needs. And we need someone who we can trust ourselves with. I'm bringing you this so that you have resources, whether you're there in your own country still or when you come here to the US, and you would know someone that you can go to for a specific need. A very special guest, Miss Kat Ludwig. Yay! Welcome on board, Kat.
Thank you, Jean, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so look at her. She's so pretty, isn't she? Tell us who you are, what do you do? Let's start off with that.
Yes, so I am a chef and registered dietitian. I worked in restaurant food service and hospital food service from 2005 until 2014 and decided I needed to go back to school because I needed to become a dietitian. I'd been thinking about it for almost 10 years and it was just time to do it. So I went to the University of Wisconsin Green Bay to do my internship, moving from the West Coast. So I uprooted my life to become a dietitian. And my wonderful chef husband came with me. Food is the center of my life. So since becoming a dietitian, I've worked in long-term care and dialysis.
Oh.
But I found a discrepancy when I was in long-term care with the food because, food is my love. And so I wanted everyone to be able to appreciate food the same way I do. And people who have swallowing disorders don't have that luxury. So I partnered with my friend who's a speech therapist, and we created Dysphagia Duo, which is a company that helps people with swallowing disorders improve their nutritional status and then regain the strength to swallow food properly so that they can love food again.
Awesome. So this is because food is very social. I even have a friend that have digestive issue, and she can for 2 years now, and she can only eat the same food over and over again, and it's very emotional for her to be in a group of people, family gathering, and they're eating a lot of food, but she couldn't eat. So she will tell me she will cry about these things, and so I can imagine those people who cannot enjoy the food and being around with people who's enjoying the food. So that is very interesting because so you have your company, Dysphagia Duo, and I don't hear that much, about the tandem between dietitian and speech pathologist tandeming to help out a patient. So tell me about who are your patients that you're serving right now? Example, so our viewers will have an idea if they know someone, oh, okay, I can call on Kat. Maybe she can help this person too.
Right. So we started just by doing our research and figuring out who it was that actually needed our help, right? Because most dietitians work alone or with other dietitians, and most speech therapists work with other therapists. And a lot of speech therapists either work in hospitals or in long-term care with OTs, PTs, etc., right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I met her by accident. Her and her husband hired me, and we realized that we work really, really well together. And we also figured out pretty quickly that when we teamed up to treat patients, their outcomes were better. So we started just on Facebook looking at some of the dysphagia support groups that are out there and found out that there are a lot of young people with dysphagia. So I'm talking people in their 20s and 30s.
Wow.
And of course, we know that there are babies that have dysphagia and there are elderly that have dysphagia. But typically when you're elderly, you have dysphagia because of a side effect of another issue, like having a stroke or having Parkinson's or ALS. And those situations, you're usually already getting PT, OT, maybe speech already because of the situation. And those people have access to therapists through home health, Medicare, etc. The younger populations are developing swallowing disorders from things like acid reflux.
Wow.
And I was shocked to find this out. And then eosinophilic esophagitis, which is an inflammatory immune response. And there are so many reasons. Some people develop dysphagia because of a viral infection that attacks the nervous system and the vagus nerve, etc. And then that debilitates the muscles in the throat. So a lot of people end up on pureed foods, soft, moist foods, which we call minced and moist, or they need thickened liquids because the speed that a liquid like water is just too fast and it ends up in their lungs instead of their stomach, which is, as you already know, hugely problematic. Right. So we are finding that most people that need help are the younger ones that don't have access to the healthcare because their doctor's like, well, just eat food. It's not that big of a deal. Well, it is, because they can't convey with proper wording what is wrong and why they can't. One of our clients that we have right now is 29, and she has developed worsening oral and pharyngeal dysphagia over the last 9 months because she couldn't get food in. And when you're malnourished, the muscles weaken, right? Mm-hmm. You as a PT know that after some sort of a situation where a person needs PT, their muscles need to be strengthened. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Same thing with the throat and the mouth. Your tongue can weaken. These muscles that help push food down into your esophagus, they can weaken. And so if your nutritional status is poor, the odds of you developing worsening dysphagia are higher. So lots and lots of young people, and it may be someone that you know that you may not even realize what's going on. And I love your point about it's very emotional, because it literally affects every aspect of your life.
Gotcha. So this is news for me because, I work in a physical therapist. I work in skilled nursing facilities, independent assisted living facilities. I used to work in home health and hospital. But you're right, the people that I come across to, the patients are older population who had stroke or neurological condition. And for those of you who are wondering what dysphagia is, we should have defined it in the first place. That is your difficulty with swallowing. Okay, difficulty with swallowing. It can be from various reasons, but like Kat was saying, it is due to the weakness of the muscles, of your throat. And people with weakness of swallowing, they are prone to aspiration. They cannot eat good food, and they are prone to having the food lodged into their lungs instead of to the esophagus, going to the stomach. So for older population, Kat, I see if they are prone to aspiration, they always end up with pneumonia. Okay, so for those people who have older, relatives, or someone who's always having pneumonia, maybe you have to consider, are they having difficulty swallowing? Because that is one of the most common reason why they're having pneumonia, not just because of the bacterial or virus around them.
Right. And can I add to that and say that
Mm.
when you notice someone coughing after they take a drink, and there are a lot of symptoms, and we talk about symptoms a lot of the time because that's a sign, right? Pain is a symptom of something going on. Well, coughing is a symptom that maybe something went down the wrong pipe. We've all done it, right? Where we take a drink of liquid and we're a little bit distracted and it goes down the wrong tube. Well, what is really dangerous is when that symptom stops. So a lot of elderly people, as they're weakening, they're no longer coughing because their body just can't respond that way anymore. And so we call it silent aspiration, or that liquid or solid is going into the lungs instead of down the esophagus. So coughing is a really, really good sign that your body is trying to prevent that issue.
Gotcha.
With our younger people, we see them cough a lot. With our elderly, we see them cough less just because over time our muscles weaken.
Gotcha. So how long have you been doing this, reaching out to people, and your company, how long have you been doing this?
We officially started in August
of this year.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, but you've been in the industry for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so what do you think is the greatest challenge with your business? There's always a challenge with business, for me, for example, for an educated physical therapist, is making them aware that there is a solution to their problem by, the master class that I do. A lot of people are doing do it yourself, which is good, but it takes a lot of time. So for you and your company, what is the greatest challenge that you want to expose right now and make people aware of this problem, and they might not be even aware that there is a problem right now?
The biggest thing we run into is lack of trust, because many of these people have had the system fail them. And so trying to get them to know that they can trust us, that we are going to do everything in our power to prevent them from falling through the cracks any further and pulling them out of that crack so that they're getting proper care, is the hardest. Because especially our young ones, they've been to GI docs, they've been to their primary care, they've been to a nutritionist, they've been to a speech therapist, and a lot of them are told oh, there's nothing we can do for you. When in reality, sometimes it just takes thinking outside the box. So we have to be in front of them hundreds of times before they begin to trust us. So that is the hard part, because they've just been failed so many times by our current healthcare system.
Gotcha. So because this is what I'm hearing is dysphagia is not only a problem for older adults. There's a growing number of people having swallowing difficulties with younger generation right now. But the system, the healthcare system, the doctors, the speech therapists, other speech therapists, and other part of the system really do not know what to do. So if I am a patient, you run across a doctor who, there's nothing I can do about that. You go to a dietitian, so it's you get tired of seeing people and nothing is happening. Yes. So for example, I am a person having swallowing difficulty. Why would I reach out to you? What are the things in a nutshell that you would do for me to solve my problem?
So the main thing that I see as a dietitian is that people don't know what to eat. And a lot of people, especially young people nowadays, don't know how to cook. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that I do is I teach them some basics around cooking and pairing flavors together, and then blending those foods. So having proper equipment is another pitfall for people. Because not all blenders are the same. I teach them how to process their food to an appropriate texture so they can get it in safely.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So it might I can do that, but you really need an expert, someone like you and a speech therapist, to really be able to identify what the problem is
Yes.
and how to navigate through the problem, because the problem is not just swallowing. The problem is nutrition, and the problem is the quality of life,
Yes.
so it's bigger than we think, like a swallowing problem. It really impacts your quality of life, inability to be around people, occasions hurt you
Hmm.
rather than celebrate. So I think one of my questions will be, if I am a younger individual with swallowing difficulty, is there a way out from having a modified diet? Have you seen that happen?
So we do see people improve and get back towards solid food if they follow through with all of the recommendations. So I feel really blessed to have my business partner because she's been a speech therapist for more than 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
She has seen so many things and she is calm. So when someone's sitting in front of her and they're trying to go from a pureed food to like a softer, solid food, and they start to panic, she's calm because she knows what's happening and she can walk them through how to bring their heart rate back down. And her demeanor makes all the difference. And I can tell you that because I'm not an expert in speech therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do all of that. So I feel so blessed to have her. I can help figure out what you need and also figure out what foods may be causing you trouble and try to either adjust those or eliminate them. So the fear piece and being able to have a little bit of counseling also comes in handy because mental health plays a huge role in this. The quality of life piece, it literally affects your ability to socialize, and people don't, and then they start to decline even more because they're isolating. I feel like I got off track there because I got excited and started talking.
So, what is the greatest reward of doing what you're doing right now, versus where you were before? You were in the industry for a long time as a dietitian in skilled nursing facility. What is the sweetest reward that you get from doing what you do right now?
Getting to follow someone through this process and seeing their eyes light up with hope and realizing that there is a future that they can be a part of and that their life doesn't have to be stuck where it's at right now. Hearing them talk about, oh my gosh, my hair health is so much better. My skin health is better. My teeth are looking good again. I can sleep well, because a lot of the things that happen when you're malnourished is your sleep gets disrupted, your skin and your hair health are messed up, your GI health. I talk about GI health so often. So it's really wonderful to see someone sort of a blossom and realize that they can improve, because a lot of these disorders that we're seeing in the younger population, they do improve and they do end up in remission. But it depends on the diagnosis as well. If it's viral and it just totally messes up the nervous system, we may not get them to eat real food again. But even those people, if we can teach them how to figure out what to eat and how to make it beautiful, that still improves their quality of life.
Gotcha. So is this something that they have to see you in person, or they can do this like a telehealth? How can they reach you if they are interested in your program?
We work virtually.
That's good.
So we don't need to see you in person. A lot of times, our cameras on our phones and our computers are much higher quality than they used to be. So my business partner has done swallowing evaluations via telehealth because she can still see what she needs to see and hear what she needs to hear. And so we are able to implement strategies via the internet, which is so wonderful, because 10 years ago, it was never even something that we thought of. We thought we had to see everyone in person, and we don't.
That's good.
We are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Dysphagia Duo at gmail.com is the easiest way to get a hold of us. And our website is under construction right now. So it'll be dysphagiaduo.com once it's up and running.
Okay. So that is good, so this doesn't it's limited here in the US, because, just like me, I reach people all over the world because of the YouTube channel. So this is something that you can do telehealth in different parts of the world. So if you guys know someone, a young person having swallowing problem who's already malnourished and had decreased quality of life, give Kat send Kat an email. Or even if you know someone like a senior who's having difficulty swallowing as well and had trial and error with other healthcare providers and still having problem, all you need to do is to reach out to someone like her. And the beauty of this that I can see right now is it's not only addressing the swallowing technique, but also the dietary aspect of it, how to process the food, what food to eat, how to prepare the food, how to enjoy the food again, even though you are in the part of this hard journey and recovery process. So, Kat, okay, so what would be your message to your, to the audience or to the people that you want to serve? What will be your message to them so that if they're having struggle or difficulty, or they know someone who's, undergoing the same thing, a swallowing problem, that there is hope for them, or and you are there for them to help them out through this hard journey?
So the one thing I really want to stress is that we believe you and we hear you and we will listen. Because there is more going on and there is more that you want to say that you're not telling your doctor or your current therapist because you just feel like they haven't heard you. We're going to listen because we know that there's more going on than what everyone else realizes. And this also affects mental health. And we're prepared to address that as well, because food in general causes anxiety for a lot of people. And then you throw a swallowing disorder in there, and it can just ruin your life. So we are here to get you to dream and hope. And hopefully we can put a plan into place that can get you to take steps up to the next level.
Okay. Awesome. That is so cool. That is I am learning a lot from this interview that, I've never heard of dysphagia among younger generation. Being a therapist for 22 years, I've only heard more on dysphagia among older adults. So this is it is a bad problem to have, but it's refreshing to know that even if you're having this problem at an early age, and you are not being heard by your doctors or any healthcare provider that you already saw, that there is hope, okay? And there is a tandem, a dietitian, a speech pathologist who can help you go through the process. And I like what you said, that we hear you, we believe you, because a lot of, we are patients as well at one point or another. And we feel like when we say something and it was invalidated by the doctor or anyone, and it's just it sucks if someone is not listening to what you have to say. So I think that is a beautiful piece there of the program that you have, that you listen, because being a physical therapist, I always try to listen to my patients because they know what's going on in their body, and they're the only one who can tell you. So, and that way, if you listen, then you can actually give a high quality care because you are addressing their need. Okay, so Kat, I would like to thank you so much for being on the show. I hope that even though this is not totally related to foreign educated physical therapy, but physical therapist is part of the overall healthcare of a patient. And so you have a resource here. If your patient is suffering from dysphagia, or even younger generation, for those physical therapists, maybe you are in an outpatient facility, or you're caring for pediatrics, younger generation, then you know that this is a problem, and this could be a problem for some younger people. And you have Kat and the Dysphagia Duo around here to help you. Kat, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, Jing.
Okay, so so if you have any question, if you want to get in touch with Kat, we're going to put this on the description section of this video, all her information, her Gmail account, so that you can reach her, ask her questions. Do you do like a consultation, Kat, like a complimentary consultation if they just have questions?
Yes, we always do free consultations, because sometimes we may find that you're not quite the right fit for us, and we don't want to waste your time in the future if we can't get you what you need. So we always like to do a free consultation so that we know that we can provide you the correct resources. And if we can't help you, our goal is to always at least send you in the right direction.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, so guys, all the information will be down below. I hope that this video has brought you value, a new information, a new knowledge. I hope, especially to those who are suffering from swallowing problem, or if you know someone who's suffering from swallowing problem, this is one of the solutions that you can find out there. And I think with everything that's happening in the healthcare right now, everybody is burnt out, and we're looking for a high quality people who listen and people who care, that we can trust. Okay, so again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, stay blessed. Thank you, Kat.
Thank you.